Jimmy Butler, he's a very interesting player to me.
He's like, oh shoot, I don't know where to go with the ball because I haven't been able to think.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. Now LeBron's a 4-time champion, and Anthony Davis gets his first.
It's unacceptable. So happy when the Astros lost because it would definitely be a 2020 thing.
Yeah, I was impressed by their game. Braden Point, Andre Palat, Nikita Kucherov. That was the best line in the playoffs, no doubt.
Stay undefeated when they face the mighty Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Sandler, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the week. Doing a lot of them this week, but with the news of Strasburg, a few weeks ago he announced his retirement. I think it's something we may have seen coming, but let's look back at a team in 2019 that really pushed the odds in the second half. And the man that's talked about this team previously and used them as a reference for other teams, Austin.
Yeah, the 2019 Nationals, a team that was very bad at the start of the year, but ended off strong. They made a lot of big trades, trading for Fernando Rodney, Daniel Hudson. Obviously, lightning in a bottle. They beat one of the best, probably the best Houston team that didn't win a World Series. And Garrett Cole was on that team. They still had Verlander. That's back when they had Correa. They still had Springer. This is before they went to the youth movement that they now have. And this national team still beat them with great pitching and timely hitting.
And I believe this was an Astros team that may have still been using sign stealing. Or is that?
There's no proof, but there is speculation. And with the Astros, I don't necessarily trust them. So that's how I'll put it.
Okay. So yeah, could have been that, but this is a team that really pushed. They won in 7 against the Astros, and Strasburg was the MVP of the World Series, and then he got a huge contract. But then I don't think, how many times did he play after that?
I think he only had 6 games he pitched in.
Wow. But I think even with the Nationals, you take that no matter what.
Oh, 100%, because he was it was 8 games. He pitched in 8 games after the World Series because he got hurt. 2020 year was obviously weird. He only pitched 2 games and he got hurt. And then only pitched 5 in 2021. And then in 2022, he only pitched 1. Injuries stacked up. And that's mainly because he pitched a ton of innings during his late 20s and into his 30-year-old season where he led the league in innings. He was so consistent. He just had some injury problems throughout his career. And then it's a big what if, but it all works out. He's the number 1 pick, and he was the World Series MVP for the team that drafted him.
Yeah, and he was part of a rotation that had Max Scherzer in it as well. And also Patrick Corbin, who I think now people don't really regard as much, but he was very good in that year. And then there was also Anibal Sanchez and then Eric Fredel. But really, Strasburg and Scherzer were at the top of that rotation. But Patrick Corbin was still good. And to me, it's a team that was heavily led by their pitching, but they also had some nice hitters. But anything else you want to talk about Patrick Corbin or Scherzer?
Yeah, I mean, just the starting pitching is remarkable on this team. When you have Strasburg, Scherzer, Anibal Sanchez, and then obviously, like you said, Patrick Corbin. It's just such a deep rotation. They allow you to go far into games and be consistent with how long you have to pitch your bullpen. It just consistently worked out and in the Nationals' favor.
Yeah, and then another guy, I want to get to the hitting because it really seemed, I know this could be the title of the video, the perfect storm, because Juan Soto was a part of this team. He was 20 years old. You had Anthony Rendon. That might have been the last healthy season he really had.
Yeah, because there were a lot of years where, recently that he's been hurt, and you're right. He has not played more than 60 games in a season since this year. this really was the last hurrah, even if they were younger for a lot of players. When you look at Howie Kendrick, like you mentioned, Rendon, obviously guys that have retired like Animal Sanchez and now Strasburg. Fernando Rodney, who had a 3.85 ERA in the playoffs, uh, former All Star and reliever of the year, and then Ryan Zimmerman. This was really his last uh, best moment. He played. He didn't play any of 2020, but did play a solid amount of 2021, and was still had a 104 OPS plus. But he's another player, just like Strasburg, that only played for the Nationals. There's a fair amount of players on this team that started their career with the Nationals and won a championship with them before they left. Whether it's Rendon, Trey Turner, Strasburg, like I mentioned, Zimmerman, uh, just a lot of their players were homegrown, and that's really how a lot of teams need to start doing it, because it allows you to not have to pay guys as much if you can get them, call them up early enough, or it just if you played with guys back in AA, AAA, and you play again with them in the majors, you have that type of chemistry.
Yes, and the thing about 2019 as well was you talk about growing up and being able to develop. The Nationals let Bryce Harper walk, and they replaced him with, well, they had Adam Eaton and right, but you had Juan Soto, a great hitter. Harper's probably a better fielder than Soto.
No, I'd say Soto's probably better at fielding.
Okay.
Maybe not his rookie season, but Soto definitely now is better at fielding than Harper. Soto's actually really playable in the field, while Harper now has been relegated to first base or DH. But yeah, it is pretty remarkable how this team let an multi-MVP winner go, and they called up a guy that probably should have won it over Harper in 2021 when he was with the Nationals and the Padres. But Soto's ability in that series was remarkable. In the World Series, he had 3 homers, bat 333, had a very, very clutch homer in Game 7 that really swung the tide and gave them the lead, I believe, 3-2. Let me fact check that. Yeah, so in the so
Yeah, I'm not much help here.
yeah, I'm on Baseball Reference
Okay.
trying to figure it out. But yeah, they were down 2-0. And then Rendon hit a homer. And then Howie Kendrick hit a homer to go up 3-2. That's right. And then in the 8th, they scored a run. And in the 9th, they scored 2. So they were down 2-0 heading into the top of the 7th in Game 7 on the road. That's a remarkable scenario. And then Juan Soto actually hit the homer. That's right. That kind of put them that put them ahead in Game 6. They were down 2-1, and then in the 5th inning, Soto hit a homer off Verlander and put them up 3-2. So they're just a team that kept fighting back, that were down many times. And the pitching for the Astros was so good that you never thought that they could come back, and then they did.
Yeah, that's insane. And I'm just looking at this Nationals because 2020, I think they were still competitive. I'm not sure.
They were a little under 500.
Okay, a little under 500. But then the next year, they trade Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. Then was it just the following year they trade Soto, or was it a year after?
It was. Oh, that's right. 2021 was the year that Soto should have won it, when he was still
a national.
Yes.
And then
yes.
Okay. So in 2021, they trade Trey Turner and Max Scherzer to that Dodgers.
And that's the year that Soto should have won MVP. And then the next year, Soto got traded to the Padres.
Okay. And I think it's, well, we of course have a deal, but the Nationals, a lot of the guys now, like Keibert Ruiz came in that Max Scherzer deal. There may have been someone else. I just remember Keibert Ruiz Ruiz's name.
CJ
But
Abrams.
CJ Abrams, yeah, from Soto, and then Mackenzie Gore as well. So they really changed. They didn't let this team stay together for long. It just kind of was like, we need to move in a different direction. Really, after the year, they let a year breathe, but they
Well,
let
I
them
think a
breathe.
part of it was the fact that Strasburg was out that season and other injuries just piled up that they weren't competitive in a shortened, very weird COVID year. And maybe this team sticks together longer if COVID doesn't happen. Maybe if that's a longer season, they come back like they did the year before and make the playoffs. But injuries really stifled them that season, and it changed kind of the trajectory of the Washington Nationals. But it all works out. It's all worth it because they won a ring in 2019.
Yeah. I think you give out those contracts for like, hey, we don't care, we won, we'll do whatever. And it just really hasn't worked out. But they still had Victor Robles, who I think is still on the team, or I can't seem to find him on the 2023 team batting.
Let
I
me
don't know.
search it up.
Because he was 22 years old in 20.
Victor Robles is still on a team, but I'm pretty sure he's hurt. He's batting .299 this year, but he's only played 36 games. He's not played a game since June, so I believe he is injured.
Okay. Yeah, so it's really a new team, and it's just there was always that hope with Strasburg, but it never really happened. So that was just kind of want to look at one of the crowning achievement for the Nationals and Strasburg, I think, was that 2019 championship.
100%. And the fact that they won it, it's the cure for all ailments. Hey, it's a what-if career. He should have won a Cy Young. He should have had a long career. Same thing with Zimmerman or guys that got hurt or got traded, but it doesn't matter. 2019 is forever engraved in not only Nationals history, but MLB history. And Strasburg's World Series MVP will not soon be forgotten.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to end it. Let us know what you think. Any other players we missed during that run, let us know, and we appreciate you all the feedback, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.